Today's video was brought to you by eWin Racing, the best source for gaming chairs and desks for those long gaming sessions. We have a playlist of our eWin chair and desk videos linked in the video description below. Save 30% off of everything using the discount code TECHDEALS. More details at the end of the video. Leo comes in today with an observation that, let's just say, I had a few things to observe about. So, what's Leo's comment?
After 6 years, he upgraded his 4.6 gigahertz i7 5960X to an i9 10850K. The upgrade was 100% worth it. Performance is insane now. Cores plus megahertz plus IPC upgrade. The i7 held my 2070 Super back big time at 1080p.
Louder for the people in the back who think not much has happened in CPUs in the past 6 years. You're all wrong, conditionally. Let me explain. The CPU that was just referenced is not a common one, and it was really expensive 6 years ago, like megabucks, think $1,000. However, that is an 8-core, 16-thread Intel chip. But it's from their X99 HEDT platform, predating the current X299 platform. The i7 5960X is a Haswell E chip, but with DDR4. Normally Haswell has DDR3.
Correct.
But Haswell E was the first
DDR4
major platform they had that had DDR4. If he's overclocked it to 4.6, it would be very easy to think, wait a minute, I've got an 8-core, 16-thread Intel chip with quad-channel memory and a crap ton of PCI Express lanes. Well, obviously, I don't need to upgrade. My computer will be good for 10 years. Well, if you can live with it and you're happy with it, then do so. I've been saying, how long have I been saying this now? That trying to get 10 years out of your computer is a fool's errand.
A long time now.
Okay, it's a fool's errand. We had another gentleman a few minutes ago that we did a comment about where he had a 9-year-old i7 3770 and he wanted to put a new graphics card in, and I'm like, no. So this is kind of the similar situation. You would think that this is a modern chip. It's really not. It was expensive. It was ahead of its time, and it lasted him a long time. But he upgraded from an 8-core to a 10-core chip, and ostensibly, 8 cores to 10 cores is not going to blow anybody's skirt up. Unless you're going from Haswell to Comet Lake. You're going from the very, very first generation of DDR4 on the very first generation of X99 boards. There are actually 3 versions of the X99 platform. Haswell E, Broadwell E, and then the first Skylake chips. And then there was the refresh and, well, then there were 2 X99s and 3 X39. You know what? Intel really screwed up the numbering there. They did 2 X99s and 3 X299s. It's very confusing. In any case, there were 9 generations across those 2 chipsets.
9?
5.
5?
My brain is scrambled. So here's the deal. His clock speed only increased a little bit. If he's running at, say, 5.2 gigahertz, if he turns all-core turbo on, he went from 4.6 to 5.2. That change on its own is not going to be a big deal. If I randomly took anybody's computer who's watching, and I switch their 4.6 gigahertz machine, I don't care whether it's FX 8300, I don't care whether it's i7 2600K Sandy Bridge. I don't care whether it's Ryzen 7 1700X. If you just take any particular machine and you go from 4.6 to 5.2, percentage-wise, that is not a large enough change to make you go, whoa, my computer's faster. It just isn't. But there is an IPC or instruction per clock cycle change between the Haswell E chips and the new Comet Lake chips. But that IPC change alone likewise won't blow your skirt up. The DDR4 memory is faster. Now we're using like DDR4 3600, 4000.
Correct.
That didn't exist when he built his machine.
No, it did not.
So his RAM is faster. The motherboard designs are better, and the very first generation of X99 had some issues with it. They had think AMD level BIOS patches. Intel, my first X99 on my Broadwell E had like 17 BIOS updates in the first 18 months. It was awful. So they're much better than that now.
Okay.
So the motherboards are very refined. The platform's very refined. The NVMe drives are way, way faster. The M.2 slots are plentiful and fast. The BIOSes and the platform, everything's been really, really cleaned up. There have been IPC jumps.
Yep.
So he gained 2 more cores.
He did.
More clock speed.
He did.
More IPC. Lower latency and faster DDR4.
Yep.
All of those changes individually actually add up to more change than people think.
Well, he says here that he plays PUBG and he averaged 170 frames a second. Now he's over 220.
Not only do I believe that, but I'm willing to bet that if he looked at his 1% and 0.1% lows and his frame times, he would find that the game is smoother.
Smoother, yeah.
And there's less hitching. Game updates are faster. Level loads are faster.
Everything.
Less texture pop. Everything is just more responsive. So, and of course his multitasking will be much better. Now he spent obviously a lot of money. He could have kept his old machine. And to anybody watching, if you have an 8-core 16-thread Haswell E, A, you spent a lot of money on it or you bought it recently, and B, you could keep it. But I'd like to point out, he's noticing the difference.
He is.
On a 20 series graphics card, he did not require an RTX 3090 to have the whoa experience.
Correct.
Now, put an RTX 3090 on those 2 CPUs, and the gap will grow. This idea that you can buy a CPU and, oh, that's it, I'm done for 10 years.
It's gone.
That's never really been true, like, ever. You could get away with it a bit in the mid-2010s because there was less competition.
Correct.
But except
now,
for that one hitch, 3 to 5 years. 3 years if you buy mid-level, 5 years if you buy top-end, but he spent that was the $1,000 CPU 6 years ago, and today he buys a sub $400 CPU that he says is 100% worth his upgrade.
Yeah, I know.
So my comments aren't directed to him. He already did the upgrade. He already knows this.
Correct.
It's to everybody else watching who thinks, oh, my 5-year-old CPU is fine. I'll just get a new graphics card. I'm graphics card limited, man. My CPU is fine. Fine might be the operative term. Lots of things in life are fine. But do not confuse fine with doesn't matter and don't need an upgrade and wouldn't notice the difference.
Well, the other thing is he upgraded the whole thing.
New motherboard, new RAM, new CPU, hopefully fresh install of Windows.
Yep.
I did a smaller upgrade on my machine at home, and it was absolutely positively 100% noticeable. I went from an i7 8700K to an i9 9900K. 6 cores to 8 cores. Same IPC, same basic platform, same everything, except I added 2 more cores. But I have 2 monitors and a multitask.
Yes.
Why don't you share with the audience the difference in Tech's commentary from the other side of the room? Because our computers at home are in the same room. Did anything change?
Oh, yes, it's quiet now. There's much less grumbling.
I don't grumble.
He grumbles.
I observe.
You observe.
I observe.
You observe loudly.
You recently made an upgrade.
Yes, and now I need some time to play it. Can I talk to the boss about that?
Have you had enough time yet to play with it to have an observation?
No.
You haven't?
Nope.
Weren't you setting up all your stuff and passwords and things the other day?
Oh, just a couple of... That's it.
Okay.
I mean...
Why don't you tell everybody what you did?
Right. Well, we upgraded to a i9 10850K from a Ryzen 5 3600X.
Now, hold on a second. I thought, wait, a Ryzen 5 3600X
Yeah.
is a 4.2 gigahertz, 6-core, 12-thread Zen 2 modern architecture. Was your Ryzen 5 built in a crappy case?
No.
Was your Ryzen 5 had like 8 gigs of RAM and a hard drive?
No.
Wait a minute. Did your Ryzen 5 have 32 gigs of RAM, terabytes of NVMe boot drive, a super premium case with Noctua fans, and a liquid cooler?
Yes.
And was it not on a very nice Asus Republic of Gamers Crosshair Hero motherboard?
It was.
Wait, so I mean, it was like built to the nines. It was a nice computer.
Yes.
You have not, unfortunately, had enough time to play with your new i9 yet.
I have not, no.
Your Ryzen 5 is your new i9's B. Really, I mean, once you really start getting to play with it some more, I mean, it's just not even close. It's just not even close.
It hasn't crashed on me, so that's a good thing.
Of course not. I shouldn't say that. The fanboys will hate me. In any case, so those are my observations and thoughts. I'm not telling you have to upgrade. People misconstrue my comments. I'm telling you that if you've got the money and you want to build a new machine and it's been 5 years, it's worth it. There's a difference. It'll be noticed. Just don't halfway your upgrades. If you're going to upgrade. See, he had an i7 8-core chip.
Yes.
If he had upgraded to a new i5 or a new i7, if he had gone part way, he'd have been less impressed.
Correct.
He went to the i9 10850K and was like, I'm just going to be done with this.
He said he instantly noticed a frame time improvement even during frame drops. 170 frames now feels significantly smoother than 170 frames with his old chip.
Can you please say that louder for the people in the back?
Yeah, type it in all caps. No, just joking.
The 170 frames per second now is smoother.
Yep. Significantly.
It's not about a number on a chart.
It's the feel of the game.
And that's not a benchmark. You have to put your hands on the computer. But if you put them side by side, you're like, oh my goodness, that's a difference.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. He's got something to compare it against. See, I can see him smiling from here.
Those are our thoughts. eWin Racing has a wide selection of chairs to fit all shapes and sizes of gamers, ranging from petite to cuddly. They have something for every type of gamer. Not just sizes, but colors and material options as well, including red, blue, purple, pink, orange, and more, plus cloth and leather choices. We have over half a dozen chair and desk videos in a playlist down in the video description below. We also have a very special offer just for Tech Deals viewers. Save 30% off of everything using discount code TechDeals using our link in the video description. We have used eWin gaming chairs for 3 years in our office, sitting on them for up to 8-hour marathon live streams. They are very comfortable, and we are happy to work with eWin to bring you this special discount and recommend eWin for all of your gaming chair and desk needs.